Hi, this is the second day of the week-long advanced workshop with Dr. Joe, April 2019 in Mallorca. And today was about overcoming the self, the theory of it, and that's really the main thing about his work. And overcoming the self is really about understanding that by the time that we're 35, 95% of us are running on subconscious, unconscious programs, and they relate to everything that we believe is who we are, everything that believe that is who we are genetically destined to be, and what we believe reality to be. So there's a lot of things that are based on what we understand now about material reality, that is just basically based on Newtonian law in the 3D world, that we believe is what defines us. So these are constraints of time, constraints of circumstances, constraints of beliefs about how reality works. And so the main thing about working with Dr. Joe is to actually really shift from thinking in terms of Newtonian physics and really cause and effect, to shifting to thinking in terms of working in the quantum and how reality works in the quantum world. And so he gave an example of how we create from lack. And very often we think that something out there is causing something in us. So it's our parents, it's our ex, it's our boss, it's our money, it's Brexit, it's the economy, whatever it is, it's causing us to behave and act in a certain way. And we carry that with us for many, many years. And so we're waiting until something out there is going to happen so that we can have a change of being. But if we understand now how things in the quantum world work, in the quantum world, we actually have to be at cause. And so being at cause means that to be wealthy, you need to feel wealthy, and that's the only way you can be a quantum match with wealth or wealth generating activities and opportunities to show up in your life. If you want to be happy, you cannot be resentful and be in victimhood regarding whatever has happened in the past, and wait until, for instance, people show up and ask for forgiveness, or give you a bunch of flowers, or give you some kind of award before you can feel worthy or valuable or whatever. So we have to, in the quantum world, whatever we are broadcasting electromagnetically in the field returns to us. As in the quantum world, we are at cause always, and we are always participating in the observer effect. We are causing energy and infinite potential to collapse in certain patterns. And so he has a very famous diagram, and I made a picture here with this amazing little notebook. And when you follow his live streams, and I'm sure when you go to his workshops, you will have seen this diagram very often. And where is it? Let's be patient. It's this one. So it's this one here. So you see there in the top, you see that basically the unified field where we are one with everything, and then it goes to energy patterns where we can actually only observe light. Whatever is can be captured by light and reflected by light. And all the other frequencies and things that are going on, we can actually not see with our senses, and therefore materialists would say these things don't exist. But of course, when we work with the quantum, we learn how to actually increase our awareness and our perception of higher frequencies, so that we can tap into these universal energies that are there for us to work with them. But then we have to leave the world of the five senses. We have to stop thinking that just because we can't see something, it means that it doesn't exist. And so very often, we are actually just stuck in the 3D world because we are so captured by the five senses, and we're so programmed to believe that we are not powerful to actually to affect matter. But actually, when you look at all the research out there, there are so many, there's so much evidence about the interconnectedness of our consciousness and matter, and how things, when they're entangled, that they're actually forever connected, and they react in very specific ways. When one thing changes with a particle that was entangled with another one, the other one just immediately shifts at the same time without any time difference, although there's space behind them. So therefore he argues, at a higher level of existence, all things are interconnected. And if all things are interconnected, we can change the patterns with our consciousness. But to do that, we have to forget who we are. We have to become pure consciousness. We have to become, greater than the self that we think we are. So we have to go to a realm of thought where all infinite possibilities are existing, and we have to change the patterns that are in there. And by doing so, we create, we release energy that is needed to create new patterns. And so it's like we have infinite potential and energy. And when we want to shift the 3D material reality, we have to put in new slides in the projector. And when we put that new slide with our imagination, our visualization, our dimensionalization, our intention in the in the slide, the way that we do it will affect matter. And this is why you see so many testimonials of people creating, dimensionalizing objects, things that just show up in their life because of them intending to actually experience that thing in their life, and then surrendering the how to the unified field. So that was some big teachings. It was really amazing to really, understand it again at another level. I always just love, I realize that although I know so much of his teaching, I still need to listen over and over again so that I get out of my program that I think that things happen to me. I now need to understand that things are happening because of me. They are happening as me. You know, those that have studied Master Key with me, the book club, we had a huge discussion about, a lecture of Barbara Waterhouse, a very famous teacher, about the Master Key and, a New Thought movement. She basically really started explaining that on one level, on a lower level of consciousness, we think that things happen to us. At a slightly higher level, we start to think that things are happening as us. And that is the highest level of understanding that everything that happens in your life is because of your consciousness or your lack of consciousness. And so before we understand that things are happening as us, there's a shift when we already think that things happen through us. But if we understand that things happen as us, we have to change the way that we look at people that are annoying us, our finances, our health. We have to take more ownership of what's going on in our life and really make the best of it. So that is something that's so empowering that, that it really shifts me every time I hear him lecture about it or I understand it fully, and I get out of the program of victimhood in whatever area in my life where I feel, basically conditioned by the body to feel, to feel powerless or to feel like I can't do it. So today we had the challenge in my group, and so it was very useful to have the challenge because we had to really go through this teaching of surrender. And you can think about surrender. You can like have this mental concept of surrender. But when we were asked to surrender with our body and to challenge the fear in our body, I really had to face my fear. I had to face my body saying no. So I decided that I was going to be the future self, and the future self is like a child in me. In my case, it was like a child that just didn't think about what was going to happen with her, or she just did it. But funny enough, after I took the first steps to like really go into the challenge, which wasn't like, something that would really bring fear into a lot of people's bodies, I was standing there and I had to face my little voice that said, you're not going to be safe when you do this. This is not going to happen. And really, but it was amazing that I could observe my thoughts of like my voice telling me that it wasn't safe, that something was going to happen that wasn't good to me. And thankfully, the team leaders and the people that were helping us, they were so amazing. They were shouting at me, this is your future, give it a go. And it was so funny how they made fun of it. They were supporting me, they were encouraging me. And I also saw a camera pointing at me, and I was like, what the F? I'm being filmed. And all my fear is just showing up on my body, and I'm being filmed. And I was like, okay, you're being filmed. You better like be heroic right now. So, and that's what I did. I just decided I cannot listen to this voice all my life telling me that I'm not safe, that I can't do it. I'll be the one person that will fail. I had the same experience actually when I was doing the firewalk. I thought I'm going to be the one person that's going to get burned. I am so exceptional that my thoughts really think I'm super special, and I will be the one that gets into an accident. It was so funny, but thankfully, when I did whatever I had to do, there was a rush of love in my body. I was proud of myself that I overcame this program that I'm not safe and that I can't do it. So you can see that this has led to a release of, chemicals in my body, or, some kind of overcoming of some imaginary fear that I know we now all have. But on another level, we were taught that surrender was about falling in the arms of the divine and letting go of control, letting go of trying to dictate how things should be, letting go of the old personality that wants things to be a certain way, and that doesn't trust life, that doesn't trust that there is a bigger force that wants the best for us, that takes care of us, that has our back. It was so moving that we as a group had to hold each other. We had to support each other lovingly. We had to be there when somebody was going through their fear. And the team leaders, the people that were guiding us, they were just amazing, because they were guiding us through letting go of something that we wanted to leave in the past. And I really felt so moved when I realized that this was like a symbolic thing, but it wasn't symbolic. And I'll give you a testimonial of one of the people in my team, and she's been doing this work for 6 months, so it's quite new to her. But she said that at one of the other week-long advanced workshops, she decided that she was going to let go of something that belonged to her child. It wasn't even hers. But when that happened, when she decided, she told the person helping her with the surrender experiment, she said, I'm going to leave this behind for my daughter. That thing, that condition never came back for her daughter. So I realized that there is something going on here with the work that we're doing that goes beyond our rational understanding, that goes beyond the 3D world of cause and effect. And that's why when I understood that this was not just a mental thing that we're playing with. We were working here with energy and consciousness and consequences for our lives. I made that decision and I had to step up, and I was so moved, and everybody was moved. Everybody, was realizing the impact of what we were doing, that we had to overcome our biggest fears, our biggest illusions, our biggest hurdles, our biggest obstacles, the things that kept us small, the things that kept us out of our truth, and the things that kept us out of our power. So, yeah, I'm so grateful that I'm here, and thank you for listening. It's so beautiful to know that we have all of this knowledge now to really grow and to overcome, centuries of pain of our ancestors and of our human species. We can change all the things that are burdening us as a collective. So if you feel inspired, read his books, listen to him on YouTube, go to one of his workshops, do the work, and come back to me and tell me what you thought of it. Thank you. Talk to you later tomorrow.